بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today inshallah we are continuing our Ramadan journey with the final two nights of the second Ashara. Tonight is the 19th, inshallah tomorrow night is going to be the 20th. After which we will kickstart the third and final Ashara of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this one, the past one, and the one to come a blessing for us, our dunya, our akhirah, our community, our family, and for the entire creation. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Last night we paused short as there was one or two things left to discuss. In Surah Fatir, verse number 28, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. And it's mind-boggling to me when translations add footnotes to try to make a point. The translation is a translation, but when you add things to it to try to make a point, to me that's disrupting, and it's also changing and altering the text. In one of the very common used English translations which are found in the East, in this verse it says specifically, verily only those from the scholars who were of the past fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the verse says innama, only those fear Allah from His servants that are the ulama, scholars. Now this doesn't mean, and I want to make this clear, that scholars are more God-fearing than anyone else. It means that a person who reaches a height in knowledge and in understanding of the religion should by nature be God-fearing, if that makes sense. Because your knowledge is supposed to bring you closer to Allah, and the closer you come to Allah, the more fearing and God-fearing you should become. This is not a criteria of which scholars are more God-fearing. Were they the past, the present, the future? Are they the ones in the east or the west, the north or the south? This is not the discussion. The discussion here is very clearly that for anyone, and that means all of us, who are pursuing knowledge, and the purpose of pursuing knowledge should be to gain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is my knowledge bringing about a reverence of God and a closeness to Allah, yes or no? If it isn't, then we need to question what is missing between knowledge and ourselves. When it comes to people as scholars, as a category of a certain type of people, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in the hadith that the best creation under the roof of the sky are the God-fearing scholars. And the worst creation under the roof of the sky are the bad scholars. Because people who have knowledge are looked upon for direction. Your knowledge and your direction could lead them closer to Allah or take them closer to yourself. Our deen never taught us to bring people closer to us. We are a channel, a via, like a pipe, water pipe. The water flows through and through from the source to the person in need. So what's disturbing in back home countries is that you see is that there's some level of extreme reverence to some over others because it's considered for them to be godly and more God-fearing. And they are knowledgeable, so this is how you should respect them. No, brothers and sisters. The best respect for someone of knowledge is not to put them on a pedestal. Because they have to go in the grave and you have to go in your grave. Let shaitan be the reason that they fall prey and victim to their egos. Look at what was described about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them in the Quran that Wallahu ya'asimuka minan nas, Allah will protect you from the people, He never had a guard after that. He had guards initially. But after that, he said, I don't need anyone. When people would enter Medina to seek Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they would enter a gathering and they couldn't distinguish him from the rest. He was a people's person, one of the people. I remember I was in Medina 2 years ago during Hajj, and after Salat al-Jum'ah, exiting, and there was a large group of people hovering around that scholar, and they were holding his garment, and they were holding his turban, and they were holding his sign. And the image that was presented as if this person is so superior. And a man was walking the opposite direction, an Arab, looked like he was from Medina, and he said one thing, La ilaha illallah. That's what he said, La ilaha illallah. We should not hold anyone high that people who don't know what you're doing may assume that you're giving some extra level of respect to them, that they may be worshipped. Remember what Shaitan did? When the prophets died and the noble ones passed, Shaitan came as a human to the people and said, and they're saying, it's hard to connect. He said, you know what? Put a picture up. Put a picture up on the wall. When you walk in your house and you see that prophet, or you see your grandmother, grandfather, oh, astaghfirullah, subhanallah, subhanallah. But that wore off after a bit because the picture was a picture. So he said then to them, make an idol, a statue. Because, the picture is like a painting, but this statue resembles them. So you walk in, you see the statue, like, okay, yeah, grandfather was so God-fearing, I should not do this, and astaghfirullah, or make it the prophet or a saint. But that wore off. So Shaitan then came and told them, you know what you do? You're losing the connection. It's not good. You're losing the religious connection. Sit down in front of the idol and pray to Allah. Because then you're going to see that, say, yeah, God-fearing, and I want to make it to Allah. What were the kids seeing? My father is worshipping this idol. Idolatry, idol worshipping came back over and over and over again throughout the course of time because Shaitan made people consider other people to be gods aside from Allah. So this is a very important verse that holds a lot of relevance, that those who from Allah's servants are the knowledgeable people, are God-fearing by default, not because they hold a degree or they hold a sanad or an ijazah. It's because your knowledge is supposed to humble you. Your knowledge is supposed to humble you. And if knowledge is not humbling us today, we have a problem. And the problem is very simple. There's a lack of tazkiyah and tarbiyah before ta'aleem. And that's a subject for another day. We move on to Surah Yasin today, and subhanAllah, brothers and sisters, I don't recall the last Ramadan that we had such a beautiful trend. That first, the Friday we had last Friday was Surah Kaf. Thursday night, Friday was Surah Kaf. Tonight is Surah Yasin. So mashallah, it's amazing. And mashallah, next Friday night is Khatm al-Quran. Mashallah. So we have some amazing back-to-back Thursday nights, which are actually a Friday, with a good recitation and mashallah, very powerful parts of the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them beneficial for us all. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. In Surah Yasin, verse number 13, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala draws our attention to a person who is a nobody. And this is what we call God-fearing. He's a nobody, nobody knows his name, but he was good enough that Allah wanted to mention him in the Holy Quran. He didn't do any acts of piety. He did not perform pilgrimage. He didn't even give charity. And I doubt he even prayed. But he is known in the Quran till the Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presents to us a story. وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا أَصْحَابَ الْقَرْيَةِ. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, present to them the example, the story of the people of a town. إِذْ جَاءَهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ. When prophets came to them. There was a time when in a town, prophets, not one, prophets, multiple, came to a town. Prophets came in and throughout time. And that's why some scholars, they document and they say approximately 124,000 prophets came on this earth. Allah is telling us the story of a town. إِذْ جَاءَهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ. When prophets came to it. What was the story? إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ اثْنَيْنِ. We sent two first. We sent two prophets. Go tell the people. فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا. They said nonsense, bakwas, leave us alone, be quiet. إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ اثْنَيْنِ فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا. They belittled them, they said you're lying. فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ. We sent a third one. فَقَالُوا إِنَّا إِلَيْكُمْ مُرْسَلُونَ. They said, we are sent to you as prophets. God sent us. Allah sent us to you to tell you something. قَالُوا مَا أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُنَا. You're just a human being. Again, that concept of the person who propagates the message of Allah has to be something different. Allah tells us if He sent angels, even if Allah sent angels down, would we believe? Let us not think that Allah has to come down Himself, or He has to send angels down for us to believe in Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made hidayah possible for a people and their queen because of a bird. When Sulaiman alayhi salam was knowing everything, he didn't know 12 farsakh or miles from where he was. There was a lady and her people, they were worshipping the sun. Hudhud came back and said, "Yes, Sulaiman, there's these people over there, they're doing this." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave hidayah to them in guidance by a bird. If Allah can spread Islam by a bird, know that none of us are anyone special. Allah doesn't need us. He'll take care of His work. That's 100% guarantee. The question is, can I get a share of Allah's work? Can I get a part of it? Can I be known for it? That's your choice. But Allah's work will continue. No one is needed for it. لَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهُوا لَنَرْجُمَنَّكُمْ. If you don't be quiet, we're going to start stoning you. And you're going to face some painful torment and punishment from us. قَالُوا طَائِرُكُمْ مَعَكُمْ أَإِن ذُكِّرْتُمْ بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ مُسْرِفُونَ. They say, you keep your ill omens to yourself. We're just trying to tell you something, but you've really gone off. You've gone off by the wayside. Now here is 3 prophets talking to a people of a town who have now resorted to threaten them and their lives because of the good they're talking about. Brothers and sisters, people may make you feel uncomfortable, not for proselytizing the truth, not for going out and giving da'wah, not for going on the street corners and telling people. They may give you a hard time, or you may feel uncomfortable by you merely doing what you're supposed to do as a Muslim. Know that that is the call of the moment. When you stay firm for you to do what you have to do. When everyone at work is drinking, I'm not drinking. When they're eating, it's Ramadan, I'm not eating. When they are laughing and joking and using profanity, I'm not doing that. I'm sticking to the guns of my morals, my ethics, my teachings. Know that is the greatest struggle. And know that that struggle will pay off with dividends. These prophets stuck to what they were doing. Now these prophets came from the neighboring town. And in the neighboring town was one man who was very much interested in what they were talking about. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى. A man came running from the next town. Because news might have reached him that how the prophets were being treated. And he said, قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ, O my people, Ya qawmi, ittabi'ul mursaleen. Follow the prophets. Now look, if you don't believe in this new technology, just sign up. There's not going to be a waste. And if you don't like it after 6 months, just unsubscribe. That's how companies do it, right? We got this great deal. 6 months free trial. Just try it out. You're losing nothing. So that's exactly what he's saying. Just try it out. You have nothing to lose. If you don't like it, that's a different thing. But just try it out. اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. They're not asking you for anything in return. They're not asking you for water or bread. They're not asking you for funds or finances. They're not asking for property or women or anything else. They're just saying, take this. And guess what? They know what they're doing. They're rightfully guided. When a person talks about a certain profession and they are qualified in that profession, it gives more credibility and weight to what they're saying. These people are talking about Allah and they know Allah. Just follow them. And guess what happened? The town turns the attention from the 3 to him. Who are you? Who are you? And he's trying to explain himself. The communication goes on. وَمَا لِيَ لَا أَعْبُدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. أَأَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً إِن يُرِدْنِ الرَّحْمَنُ بِضُرٍّ لَا تُغْنِ عَنِّي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُنْقِذُونَ إِنِّي إِذًا لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ إِنِّي آمَنْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ فَاسْمَعُونَ. Allah has recorded this nobody, His final words on this earth in the Quran, and Allah put it in the heart of the Quran, because this is what you call faith, this is what you call determination, this is what you call belief, that whatever happens, good or bad, I am not going to waver, I am not going to change, I'm not going to be a hesitant person when it comes to my Allah. I believe in my Allah, do what you want to do. This guy was just saying, follow them. And he's explaining what would happen if I followed someone else or I worshipped anyone else. They're not going to help me. Rather, it's going to harm me. إِنِّي إِذًا لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. I'm going to be in open loss. Hence, إِنِّي آمَنْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ فَاسْمَعُونَ. Listen to his word. إِنِّي, verily I, آمَنْتُ, have brought brought faith, بِرَبِّكُمْ, on your Lord. He didn't say my Lord. He said the prophets are telling you, and I'm saying what is for all of us. I'm bringing faith on your Lord. And who is your Lord? Your Lord, my Lord is one Lord, it's Allah. فَاسْمَعُونَ, hear me out clearly. That was his last words. They killed him. Allah didn't stop there. قِيلَ ادْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. It was said to him, go to paradise. Go to paradise. This is what you call honor. If you honor Allah, I swear by Allah, Allah will honor you. If you cling on to Allah, Allah will never let go of you. If you trust in Allah, nothing will fail you. The question is, am I willing? That's the question today. That's the $1 million question. Am I willing? And now that Allah is telling him, go to paradise, his response mimics the concern that our Habib Muhammad Mustafa is recorded to have and will have on the Day of Judgment. On the Day of Judgment, Rasulullah be told, go on to paradise. He will say, no, ummati, my nation, I'm worried about them. And this person is being told, go to paradise. He says, قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah, I wish my people. He came from the town over and he's saying, my people, I wish they knew. They knew what? That my Lord has forgiven me. بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ. And Allah has made me of the honorable ones. So many gems here. One thing is, your people are everyone. We are no this or that, this race or that race. We are all one people. And one people includes the people outside. The people of this country, we are one people. When you love them and care for them as you should love each other and care for each other, now your message has weight. But if there is division amongst our hearts, this story is telling us, he comes from another town, he says, your Lord, I bring faith on your Lord. I wish my community knew. I wish my people knew. That is why Rasulullah is Habib and Rasulullah is Rahim, because he always made dua for everyone. He never made a curse for anyone. When Makkah was conquered and Hind and Abu Sufyan knew that today they're going to die, Hind said, I can't bear this silence anymore. Pin drop silence in Makkah as the city is being conquered. I need to find out what's going on. And she goes off to the Haram. She goes off to the Kaaba. She sees the Sahaba there sharpening their swords. No, chopping off hands. No, chopping off heads. No, they're making tawaf and they're crying and they're praying and they're making dua for the people of Makkah. Oh Allah, our people, give them guidance. After all that's gone wrong, after all that they plotted against you, after all the times that they tried to kill you and the believers, destroyed your families and your houses, you're praying for them. She goes by Rasulullah and Rasulullah's hands are up in front of the Kaaba, calling Allah, oh Allah, give guidance to Hinda. Oh Allah, give guidance to Abu Sufyan. They also deserve your guidance. When there is illness in our heart, when there is darkness in our heart, when there's black dots in our heart against each other, I promise you, we can have the most eloquent tongues and the best vocabulary and the most Americanized accent. We will never be able to convince our own selves. Remove that from our hearts now, brothers and sisters. Time is coming, Ramadan, and the last 10 nights, to remove that and become like this man. His name is Habib Najjar. Remember his name, because he's in paradise. I'm not saying it, Allah is saying it. And I want to be like him, because he went to paradise loving people and loving Allah, caring for people and standing up for those who are oppressed. That is who Habib Najjar is. You read Surah Yasin every day, the heart of the Quran. Remember this story. There is a man who Allah sent to paradise, and he was good enough to be described in the heart of the Holy Quran. Surah Safat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about many things. We have less time. فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ مَعْهُ السَّعْيَ وَنْ إِسْمَاعِيلَ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ got to an age that he could walk with his father. His father told him, I saw my dream, I'm slaughtering you. What's your thoughts? He said, Ya abati fa'al ma tu'mar. Go and do what you've been commanded. Why are you asking me? Brothers and sisters, when it comes to Allah's commands in our homes, there's no compromise. I don't care if it's the NBA Finals. I don't care if it's an important movie night. If it's time for prayer, it's time for prayer. Off is off. There's no compromise. This story where a prophet is being told to slaughter your son, and he's asking his son, what do you think? He's saying, what do you mean, what do I think? It's not about what I think. Allah told you do it. When Allah's command is compromised in the homes, then your command, your way, your word holds zero value. Remember this. Uphold Allah's command, Allah will uphold our families. And when he went to slaughter his son, Allah said, قَدْ صَدَّقْتَ الرُّؤْيَا O Ibrahim alayhi salam, you made the dream come true. We didn't want your son, but this was a dream. You did it to show nothing comes between you and me. And that is exactly what Allah wanted to tell us. In Surah Sad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Dawood alayhi salam. In Surah Safat, Allah talks about Nuh alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Yunus alayhi salam, and heaven and hell, the day of judgment. A lot of beautiful things are being spoken about. In Surah Sad, one of the things Allah talks about is Dawood alayhi salam, that the mountains and the birds used to make tasbih with him in the morning and the evening. SubhanAllah. I want to hear the mountains make tasbih. When you hear the birds early morning, tahajjud time, and you hear the birds after Asr close to Maghrib, that's them making tasbih. Imagine the mountains making tasbih with the birds and Dawood alayhi salam. Such a beautiful thing. That's the power of the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The word of Allah is on the tongue of every creation of Allah. And in Surah Zumar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about أَفَمَنْ شَرَحَ اللَّهُ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ فَهُوَ عَلَى نُورٍ مِّن رَبِّهِ. If Allah opens your chest for Islam, and then you come on the light and nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is who we want to be. Say inshallah. Say inshallah. That the light of Allah's word and that belief emits from us. It comes in us and it then comes out from us. It comes out from our words. It comes out from our eyes. It comes out from our actions. It comes out from every step we take and everything we touch. That light of Allah, it opens our hearts. Today the world is worried. Everyone is in a state of dayq. Everyone is kind of strangled. Allah's light will open you up. Allah's light will give you breathing space. Allah's light will give you confidence and courage. And Allah's light will give you stability and faith and happiness. That is the light we want. I conclude with one thing. It's written in also it was taught to me by my teachers. I believe it's in the Mujarrabat. I never had enough time to look it up. But I know this for a fact because I've tried it. Anyone on Friday reads Surah Yasin, Surah Safat, and Surah Sad in one sitting. The three surahs, three of the four surahs that we're going to recite tonight. Without lapse, without talking, without moving. And then they make dua. Their dua is accepted. So try this. Teacher told me this. I'll check the authenticity. But there's something known as the books in the text. And there's something known as mujarrabat. Something that's been tried and tested and effective. It is effective. So it's Friday night already. It's the night of Friday. We don't call it Friday night. It's the night of Friday. And inshallah tonight, tomorrow, during the day, try it. Read Surah Yasin, Surah Safat and Surah Sad, and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in your dua, make dua for the community, make dua for our families, make dua for the ummah, make dua of love and goodness and unity for every human being. Never make dua against anyone, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy can encompass everything. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله